Pellegrino Matarazzo helped Hoffenheim finish 7th in the Bundesliga in the 2023-24 season. This means that next season they'll be playing in the Europa League. Here's how you can successfully go ahead and replicate Pellegrino Matarazzo's tactics in FC24. Pellegrino Matarazzo has often favored a 3 or a 5 back system. If you take a look at his time at Stuttgart and even the time that he spent at Hoffenheim, it's always more so been about having wing backs and then of course a 3-man centre back unit. Now, essentially, he has altered the midfield and, of course, the front line, alternating it between a 3-4-3 or alternatively the system that you see right here, a 5-2-1-2 system, having a dual striker tandem up front. The tactical approach for Matarazzo does align with the tactical vision being set to kick and rush. Quite often, he would encourage his centre-backs to bring the ball out from defence and launch either long balls further forward into the space just in behind the opposition's defence, or alternatively look to move the ball swiftly through the lines and progress it into the open and available spaces. Onto the defensive settings, and the defensive style will be set to either pressure on heavy touch or alternatively the drop back system. Now, the drop back system was something that he heavily implemented at Stuttgart during his time there, of course, where they wouldn't look to engage with the opposition. They would mainly look for the opposition to bring the ball over the halfway line, and as they approached the Stuttgart goal area, they would look to then press and probe and make it very uncomfortable for the offensive rhythms from the opposition to establish themselves. Now, during his time at Hoffenheim, he has implemented that, but at the same time, he's also implemented a pressure on heavy touch approach, which I do think tends to replicate their defensive approach very, very nicely. Keeping the shape, keeping the structure, but pressing and probing, and if there is a mistake, latching onto that and then creating an offensive opportunity out of it. So either alternatively pressure on heavy touch, or you can go with the drop back system. As for the other defensive settings, it will be set to a 60 team width along with a 40 team depth. You don't want to encourage the players to get too high up the field and expose a large area between the goalkeeper and of course your backline, so you want to try and protect them as best as possible, whilst also maintaining a very good zonal approach and a man-v-man type structure as well. For the offensive instructions, the build-up play will be set to long ball, paired up with the chance creation being set to direct passing. Now, of course, this does pair up quite well with the kick and rush approach, but it does implement the Matarazzo system and style of play very, very nicely. Like I mentioned earlier, the centre-backs tend to bring the ball out of the defense and look to launch those longer balls further forward, or alternatively, they will look to move the ball very swiftly into the open space. And you will see quite often either your wing-backs or alternatively your strikers will look to make those aggressive runs into the space just in behind the opposition's backline area. The width of the side should be set to 80, as the wingbacks will look to hug the touchlines and operate quite frequently in those wider spaced areas, and you do want to have a sufficient amount of players in the box waiting for those potential crosses or cutback opportunities. Finally, the corners and the free kicks should be set to 4. Onto the individual player roles and instructions, starting off at the back with Baumann, and I have left his instructions on the default settings. He doesn't want to do too much. He's not really a sweeper keeper. He does tend to stay on his line quite a lot to make the saves in those 1v1 situations, and he also allows for the centre-backs to go on and try and deal with the defensive areas and issues. And that same can be said for the saving on crosses, a very balanced approach. You can look to claim those aerial balls, although at times he isn't the best at being able to physically impose himself when, dueling the opposition in the air. So again, a nice balanced approach will allow him to either punch the ball at times or alternatively catch the ball and alleviate and relieve the stress on the backline of your team. As for your centre-backs, the centre-back will be set to the base set of instructions. No major changes are really required for him. But as you'll see here for the two wider centre-backs, I have set them to overlap, as both Kabak as well as Brooks tend to get forward. Or that doesn't necessarily have to be Brooks, but the left-sided centre-back is also required at times to get forward and help support the offensive structure. And also they'll be in charge of bringing the ball out of the back line and looking to launch those longer balls further forward. At times, as well with the build-up play, they tend to build up in a 3-2 structure, and your centre-backs will be very important in looking to try and split and hug the touchlines and provide an extra wider passing option into those wider channels. The two wingbacks in Kaderbach as well as Skov will be set to the same set of instructions, and that is a balanced attacking support for the attacking runs, allowing them to, yes, bomb forward and help support when the space and opportunity is there, and also look to try and balance out their defensive duties by looking to try and maintain that back five system and shape. You will see here that when they do get forward, they will constantly look to overlap and work in those wider channeled areas, and then finally stick to position is a necessity. You want both of these players being the outlets down either flank and being very much available for those switch of play moment, allowing him to operate into that wider space and then potentially firing crosses and cutbacks into the box for your strike pair. The likes of Grilic as well as Stash will kind of resemble a similar set of instructions, apart from Stash being allowed to have a bit more of an offensive freedom, playing more as a box-to-box player, allowing him to operate in that final third in certain moments. So you want them to maintain a good zonal approach. Cut passing lanes will be an absolute necessity if you are looking to try and disturb and break up the play in the midfield zones. And like I mentioned with the tactics, they do tend to take up a very good zonal approach with their defensive structure. The attacking support for Stash will be set to balance, allowing him to maintain that good box-to-box role. Interceptions will be set to normal, and then you want him to be the deep-lying playmaker and cover the wing. As you'll see here for Grilic, he has got the same role and instructions, apart from the fact that the attacking support will be set to stay back while attacking. Now, of course, Grilic has featured at times in the backline area, and he can play as a centre-back, so he is better suited to kind of being the lone six in certain moments, especially when the likes of Stash has, driven forward and looking to attack and operate in that final third area. And just like with Stash, he will be set to being the deep-lying playmaker. Both of these players can look to drop into the backline, collect the ball in that first phase build-up play, and look to try and support with those early stages of the build-up play. The role of Kramaric is quite essential to the success of the side. He is one of the chief creators and playmakers in the side, and you will see that with this position, it does tend to drift into those wide areas because we obviously have set him to drift wide. And this will kind of resemble a front three in certain moments, depending on which side he drifts into. And you do want that. You do want to establish a good stretch in your offensive play. So drift wide will be essential, as well as him getting into the box. You want him attacking in that final third area, looking to either link up with the other players or pose as a threat himself for the potential crosses or cutback opportunities. Of course, Kramaric back in the day was a striker, a very good lethal striker, but as he's gotten a bit older, he's now turned into a bit more of a playmaker, you could say. So you still want him in those attacking zones, and if the ball does drop to him, he will still have the ability to put it away in the back of the net. You would also want and require him to come back on defense, looking to drop quite deep and link up very effectively with the two defensive midfielders. The strike partnership of Bayer as well as Berisha is quite effective, and of course, this past season it was Wout Weghorst, who was seen as more of a target man playmaker, as some sorts would probably describe him. And in order to successfully go ahead and replicate this target man playmaker role, I would suggest setting him to a balanced width, allowing him to either drift into the wider channels, and this works quite well for the other strikers in the side as well, allowing him to either drift into the wider right space or alternatively attack the central areas of the field. But the most important thing is you want them to be a target man, because the likes of Bayer will be looking to break in behind and exploit the space, and sometimes even this right-sided striker will also do it. But mainly you want them using their physicality, backing into the opposition, looking to pin it down a certain centre-back and then link up the play with either the likes of a Kramaric, a Bayer, or maybe one of your wing-backs who are venturing further forward. The interception should be set to normal, and then finally you want him to come back on defense. He'll also look to drop quite deep and link up very effectively with the other midfielders. Now, the man who's probably had a fantastic breakout season in the 2023-2024 season is this kid right here, Bayer, or I think that's how you pronounce his name. Forgive me. Let me know down below in the comment section. So for him, we really do see a slightly tweaked version of what the right side will do. So he will also maintain a balance with, allowing him to drift all over the place or alternatively attack the central spaces. But the most important thing, and he is quite pacey off the mark, you want him to try and break him behind as much as possible. He's also quite tall. I think he's 6'2" or so. So he poses as a very good aerial threat. If you are looking to launch those early cross opportunities, he will be a fantastic target player to try and hit into that open space, but more so using his pace in behind will prove to be a lethal threat for this Hoffenheim side. And then finally, the defensive support will be set to basic. You don't want to set him just to stay forward, because he does tend to, at times, especially against the bigger sides, be very isolated, which can prove to be very effective, especially if you are launching those longer balls further forward. But we have seen with Hoffenheim this past season that at times, both strikers tend to drop quite deep and help support in the defensive structure. And there we go, people. That is how I would successfully go ahead and implement Pellegrino Matarazzo's tactical setup for Hoffenheim from the 2023-2024 season. I do hope you have enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to smash the thumbs up button, as well as subscribe if you are new to the channel and you like the content and all that good stuff. We do have some fantastic content coming out over the weekend, so stay tuned for that. But anyways, let's hop on into the gameplay where we can discuss these tactics in further detail. Okay, people, onto the gameplay versus the mighty Freiburg. Now, if I'm not mistaken, this past season, the one game I did watch was Freiburg versus Hoffenheim, and I'm pretty sure Freiburg ended up winning. But in terms of the whole overall game, it was a great, fantastic attacking game, a great display of both managers' tactics, and a great advert, you could say, for Bundesliga football. Lots of space, lots of attacking, at times moments of brilliance. So I do expect this gameplay to resemble very similar attributes. A good attacking game plan from both sides. And early doors, they have whipped in across. They have tested the aerial capabilities of our backline, which of course is very sharp. And we've worked the ball nicely. Berisha, he's exploited the space. He's looking to move in here. Pops off a shot nonetheless into the top corner. Berisha, you absolute gem of a human being, showing for the ball, collecting it, spinning, working into the space, getting past the other centre back, and then firing it home for the goal. But look at this, a little bit of a ball roll, sending the centre back into the wrong area, and then just leathering it. No goalkeeper saving that, even though Atabulu is a channel favourite. But if you know, you know. Nonetheless, we've got an early goal here, 10 minutes in, and a great bit of display from the tactics. Inviting the pressure, inviting the opposition to attack us quite a bit, and then exploiting that pressure with the runners in behind. Good tackle, great tackle. Actually, Brooks plays it further forward now into Bayer. Bayer holds it up nicely. He launches it into Berisha. Berisha lays it off into the likes of Anton. Anton lays it off into Katabak. Katabak will look to launch the ball into the attacking zone, and it was a great effort, although I wasn't trying to header it there. We are looking for runners. Berisha, he has called for the ball. He has called for the pass. I don't know what he was doing there, but anyways, he wasn't very agile. We've won the ball back. Cross it. Please go out for a goddamn corner. Okay, well, they put themselves in a bit more danger there. Here we go. Little chip pass over the top. Oh my god. Just imagine if Bayer had gotten onto that. That would have been fantastic. And they've held us off. They've held off the centre back, which is some good offensive work. Although, looking just to close down the space, because they will look to launch those players into those attacking areas that are vacated. Just defend on the edge of the area here. That is something that this team is going to be very good at doing. Of course, we aren't playing the highest of lines, so we can't really be exploited and exposed. Good ball up top. Berisha wins the aerial efforts, lays it off into Bayer, who will lay it off into Kramaric, who gives it back into Berisha, who will look to run the wider channel. Holding off his man, lays it off. It could have been a fantastic layoff. If the likes of Bayer had run into the open, vacated space, it could have been an easy 1-2 quick tap-in. It could have been something special, Bayer. God damn it. But you'll also see that the wing-backs, they take up some very good defensive positions. And that is because they aren't just, bombing forward and attacking the wider channels as much. And that's a good block from the defense. But you'll see that the wing-backs, they are very balanced. And that is exactly what you want, especially against the bigger sides. You still want that attacking flair in, certain moments. But you also want them to maintain a good defensive structure. So against a team like a Bayern Munich, for example, where they have pacey wingers to try and, exploit the wider spaces, you'll be very grateful for the fact that your wingbacks are staying back. Although we have given the ball away, and they are looking to try and pop off long shots. I don't know why they're looking to do that. But anyways. Good ball into Kramaric, who's made a great central run. And I was looking to pull it back there. We almost won the ball back thanks to Kramaric. His pressing off the ball has been fantastic so far in this game. Into a misopportune moment for the likes of Freiburg. But I will say the teams have been fairly good, very balanced, good attacking outlets from both sides. But I will say, in terms of the overall tactical approach of this side, the tactics are on full display. Some good defense, some good offense, running into the space, using the forwards to full effect, trying to stretch the play on a vertical scale. So it's working out quite nicely. Okay, so just taking a look at those half-time stats, 46% possession compared to 54. Now, of course, possession isn't the main aim of the game, but we do want to try and have a bit more of the ball in the second half. 40 passes compared to 39 and 83% pass accuracy compared to 85. with a dribble success rate of 91 compared to 95. You could say that yes, we are in front, but Freiburg have been the slight better side, maybe possibly. 5 tackles each, 3 tackles 1 each, and 5 interceptions compared to just 4. For the passing, you will see that there is a lot of forward passes, a lot of vertical passes, looking to get the ball in behind, looking to work the ball into the strike partnership up front, and even into the likes of Kramaric. And you will see quite a few passes between 11 and 16. That makes a lot of sense, as they are the holding midfielders, and you do want them to try and be as involved in the game as possible. But as you'll see, I mean, the goalkeeper, I don't think, touched the ball. A few passes between the centre-backs, and maybe in the second half, if we have the opportunity to, bring the ball out with them and maybe try and launch a few longer balls in behind, invite that press, invite that pressure, and try and exploit the space in behind the opposition's back line. So, the second half is about to get underway, and I will say, these last few tactics videos, we've had a horrendous start to the second half of games, conceding goals left, right, and center. It's just the kickoff glitch bug thing. Like, it just irritates me how much of an offensive boost that the AI gets just from these kickoffs, and it's goddamn annoying. I'll tell you that much. I'll tell you that much for free. But they've somehow managed to score goddamn every time. Well, one there from Brooks. We'll look to drive forward with the ball. Looking to play that forward pass into the slightly wider area onto the likes of Maximilian Bayer. We'll look to launch the ball into the box, and he has won us an early corner 7 or 8 minutes into the second half. Okay, Kramaric, you're set to take it. Johnny Boy Brooks is set. It was almost a 2-0 stat line. It was almost 2-0, and that will definitely pump up the XG. But we go again. Johnny Brooks, he's on it yet again. That time, Atabulu not equal to it, and it will definitely be 2-0. For a second, I'm like, why are you complaining? I thought that the goal was ruled out for an offside or something. But it's 2-0 nonetheless. Fantastic scenes. Great save from Baumann. Okay, well, that is what you want from the goalkeeper. Grifo testing the man from range. And just under 60 minutes to go. Oh, no, I lied. Just under 30 minutes to go. Or just over 30 minutes. I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying. But they've tested the goalkeeper. They've got themselves a corner. And they are looking to press and probe here with some good offense. But Baumann is there to collect it. He's just going to roll it out to the likes of Skov, who will play it out to the slightly wider centre-back. As you'll see, the centre-backs have split. And Skov is making a central run, although we're going to play it into Bayer. He lays it off into Skov, who has taken a great touch, and he has put it into the goddamn back of the net. And that was all because Skov ventured further forward, created that initial overload, and of course, the centre-back drifting slightly wider, operating on the touchline, looking to try and stretch stretch the opposition's backline, opening up a lot more space for us to fit players and runners into those correct opportunities and areas. And to be fair, Skov takes a fantastic touch with his weak foot and puts it into the back of the net. Okay, well, Grifo is one of the key players and contributors to this Freiburg side, and he will be looking to be a main factor in trying to get his team back into the game. Just playing it out to the likes of Brooks, and we do have a bit of breathing room now where we might be able to just express ourselves a bit more. Berisha on the ball. Is that a foul, ref? I don't even know what that is. What is that? I was looking to hold up the play back into the opposition, link it up nicely with Bayer. It didn't happen. It didn't occur. Here we go. Salai, a fantastic attacking wide man, whips in a great cross opportunity, and it's a fantastic save. That is a moment of madness from the captain. A fantastic bit of reaction, I guess. I can't speak today. But nonetheless, a great save, and they've got themselves a corner kick. Okay, closing moments here. Can we keep a clean sheet for what would feel like the first time in a long time on the tactics videos? Anyways, we've run up with it. The whistle is blown. Full time is here. 3-0 to the good. A really good display of the tactics, especially in the second half. Running into space, exploiting the backline areas of Freiburg because they were piling on pressure quite a bit, although they weren't really able to break down our defensive structure and approach. So like I said in the tactics, you can switch between either a drop back or a pressure on heavy touch defensive style of play. And I think both work really, really well. Of course, one will offer slightly more of an attacking edge, whilst the other offers a bit more of a defensive edge. But nonetheless, I don't think you can go wrong with it. So as you'll see here, the full-time stats read as we only had 41% possession in that entire game, which is one of the few times that you will see on this channel that we will concede possession. And that is something that Hoffenheim do tend to do, especially against a better side or a team that does look to control the phases of play. And Freiburg, give them credit, they did so very effectively, although the only stat at the end of the day is, all that matters anyway, is the 3-0 stat. And speaking of that, the expected goals was 1.6 compared to 1.2. Our goalkeeper was fantastic. The saves that he made in that game was immense. Passes 87 compared to 70 in their favor, but we had 18 tackles compared to just 7. So off the ball, we were combative, we were switched on, the defensive structure was in place. They were trying to break us down, they were trying to fit these, extra passes in and around, and we were just able to read the play, hold our structure, win the ball back, and launch those vertical balls further forward. 9 tackles won compared to just 5, but they had more interceptions. And of course, you will anticipate this with the long ball approach when you are looking to launch those longer balls in behind, looking to try and have those 50-50 situations, try and turn them in your favor because your strikers should be more athletic, they should be more combative, they should be more physical, and you will look to try and test those situations quite a bit, especially when you, like I say, you are trying to launch those longer balls further forward. But otherwise, overall, the tactics were great, the gameplay was fantastic. You guys will have to let me know down below in the comment section how you would like, or how you would rank and rate this system. And anyways, don't forget to smash the like button. I'll see you guys tomorrow with a new video, new tactics and all that good stuff. I hope you have a smashing goddamn day. I'm out of here. Peace.